Good morning, everyone. I am Zanami Simanes, and now let us know the story of Theseus. So, he's one of the great heroes before the Trojan War. So, first, let me introduce the characters that are present in the story. So, first, of course, we have Theseus, the legendary hero of Athens, known for his strength, wisdom, and adventures. Next is King Aegeus, Theseus' father and the king of Athens. Next is Ariadne. So he is the daughter of King Minos of Crete, who falls in love with Theseus. Next is King Minos. King Minos, he's the ruler of Crete and father of Ariadne. Now next is Daedalus, the architect who designed the labyrinth to contain the Minotaur. Now the Minotaur is a half bull and half human monster confined in the labyrinth. Next is Medea. So Medea, she's a sorceress and a figure from the Golden Fleece legend. So she tries to poison Theseus. Next is Sipedra, Ariadne's sister and the second wife of Theseus. She falsely accuses Hippolytus of assault. Next is Hippolytus. So he was the son of Theseus and the Amazon Antiope. He he worshipped Artemis and shuns romantic love. Next is Hippolytus. Um, he's Theseus' friend and adventuring companion that later attempts to abduct Persephone. So next is Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, worshipped by Hippolytus. Next is Castor and Pollux, the twin brothers of Helen of Troy, who rescue her from Theseus. And next is the king Lycomedes, the king where Theseus meets his end. Next is Dionysus. He is the god of wine who comforts Ariadne when Theseus leaves her. So, let us know the story of Theseus. So, he was the great Athenian hero. He had so many adventures and took part in so many great enterprises that there grew up in a saying in Athens that nothing without Theseus. Now, he was the son of the Athenian king, King Aegeus, and then he spent his youth, however, in his mother's home, a city in southern Greece, while his father returned to Athens before he was born. So, before King Aegeus left, he left a sword and a pair of shoes under a large stone. So, he did this with the knowledge of his wife and told her that whenever the boy, if it was a boy, grew up strong enough to roll away the stone and get the things beneath it, she could send him to Athens to claim him as his father. So, the child was a boy and he grew up strong far beyond others. So that when his mother finally took him to the stone, he lifted it with no trouble at all. She told him that the time had come for him to seek his father, and a ship was placed at his disposal by his grandfather. But Theseus refused to go by water because the voyage was safe and easy. Now, his idea was to become a great hero as quickly as possible, and easy safety was certainly not the way to do that. So instead, gusto siya mahimong great hero as quickly as possible, pero kung magsakay lang siya og ship, so wala kay siya kontra. So he chose to travel by land instead of the safer sea route, seeking adventure and inspired by his cousin Hercules, another great hero. Now, along the hazardous journey, Theseus encountered and defeated several notorious bandits, dispensing justice by subjecting them into the same fate they inflicted on others. Now, this include Siren, who kicked people off a cliff. Now, iyahang way is kanang ginakuha niya iyang victim or ang kanang traveler na i-wash iyang feet, and after ana is ituklod niya sa cliff or iyang sipaon. And then next is si Sinus who killed people with pine trees. Now iyang way is that ihikot niya ang tawo sa point bitaw sa tip bitaw sa pine tree, and then iyang i-bend, and then sumulupad dayon iyang buyan, so mulupad and then mamatay dayon. And then next is si Procrustes. Now si Procrustes, kanang iyahang way of kanang killing people or the traveler, iyang mga victim is that gina-torture niya gamit ang iyahang iron bed. Now naga-offer siya sa mga traveler o ganang isa ka night bitaw nga mag-rest sa iyahang balay o sa iyahang bed, and then pag mo agree ang traveler is that ipahida niya sa iyahang iron bed. Now if short iyahang victim is that ginastretch niya nga maigo siya sa bed, and then og dili kanang iyang pipion, so gina-torture niya if dili maabot or dili magasya ang height sa iyang victim sa iron bed. Now if that's for short people, and then if kanang taas imuhang victim, taas og height, so ipahigda niya sa bed, and then if mulapas ang tiil sa bed, iyahang gina-chop para maigo dito sa bed. So mao na iyang way of killing people. And then giinana pud siya og patay ni Theseus. So they have to taste their own medicine. So when he reached Athens, he was an acknowledged hero kay along the way sa iyang journey kanang di ba along the way sa iyang journey sa land is that na-clear niya ang agianan paingon sa Athens. So ang sumusunod na kanang mga travelers is that wala na sila problema, and then dili pa sila mamatay. It's because na-cleared naman ni Theseus ang dalan. So paabot niya sa Athens is that gi-acknowledge na siya nga hero. It's because gitabangan niya ang mga tawo. And then he was invited to a banquet by the king, who of course was unaware that Theseus was his son. So in fact, he was afraid of the young man's popularity, thinking that he might win the people over to make him king. And then he invited him with the idea of poisoning him. Now, but the plan was not his. It was Medea's plan, and as she handed the poisoned cup to Theseus, so ang gibuhat ni Theseus is that sa wala pa niya gigunitan lang niya ang cup, is that iyang gidraw iyang sword, and then automatically na-recognize siya ni King Aegeus. Now the king instantly recognized him, and then gidash niya ang cup onto the ground, and then si Medea escaped, and Aegeus acknowledged Theseus as his son and an heir. But before years before Theseus naabot siya sa arrived in Athens, a terrible event had occurred. So Minos, the powerful king of Crete, lost his only son Adragius while he was visiting the Athenian king Aegeus. Now, si King Aegeus is that he sent Adragius into a dangerous mission to kill a bull, but the bull killed Adragius instead. So, namatay ang anak ni King Minos. So, in retaliation, suko kaayo si King Minos. Kay of course, namatay ang iyahang one and only son. So, he invaded Athens, captured it, and demanded that every 9 years the Athenians send 7 maidens and 7 youths to Crete as tribute to be devoured by the Minotaur. So, Minotaur, a monster from Minos' wife Pasiphae, and a divine bull. Now, the Minotaur was the result of a curse placed by Poseidon on Minos' wife Pasiphae after Minos failed to sacrifice a bull as promised. Now, naay gift si Poseidon. Ay, di siya actually a gift, but siya ang naghatag sa bull kang King Minos. And then, the goal ato, as a sacrifice man to siya, so need na patyon ni King Minos ang bull. But, dili niya kaya patyon ang bull. So, instead, iyang gikip ang bull and then, na hibalan ni Poseidon. That's why, gipunish siya, ginaghatag siya og curse kang Pasiphae, which is iyahang wife. And then, mauna dayon to ang result, ang Minotaur. Theseus volunteered to be one of the tributes, intending to kill the Minotaur and end the sacrifice. So, before departing, he promised his father that if he succeeded, he would change the black sail on the tribute ship to white, signaling his victory and survival. Now, this set the stage for Theseus' legendary encounter with the Minotaur and his journey through the labyrinth. Now, si Theseus ni apil siya og one of the tributes siya nga iadto sa Crete, ihatag kay King Minos. And then, iyahang mission is that iyahang goal, iyahang intention is to kill the Minotaur and end the sacrifices. Now, if successful siya, dili na mag-send og kanang 7 maidens and 7 youths every 9 years. Now, so before departing, nagpromise siya sa iyahang papa na if kanang successful iyahang mission is that kanang ang black sheep kay koloran niya og white. Nagsymbolize nga victory siya and then successful iyahang mission. Now, when the young Athenian victims arrived in Crete for the tribute to the Minotaur, they were paraded before the people on their way to the labyrinth. Now, King Minos' daughter, Ariadne, saw Theseus among the victims and fell in love with him at first sight. So, gwapo yun kaayo si Theseus kay nalab at first sight man si Ariadne. Now, she sought the advice of Daedalus, the creator of the labyrinth, to find a way to escape and offered Theseus help in exchange for his promise to take her back to Athens and marry her. Now, since nalab at first sight man si Ariadne, iyahang way of kanang nagig-compromise siya or nakig-deal siya kang Theseus na tagaan siya og way to escape the labyrinth in exchange nga iyang ubanon si Ariadne sa Athens and then magpakasal sila. So, si Theseus, of course, iyang intention is to kill the Minotaur, ni agree siya. And then, Ariadne gave him a ball of thread to use as a guide through the labyrinth. Now, sa pagsulod nila sa labyrinth is that nakita niya ang natulog ang Minotaur. Tapos, as nag-walk man sila, naabot sila sa nakuan ang Minotaur na nimata na, and then mao nag-away sila, and then natagakan murag giambakan siya sa Minotaur, and then mo to pag ambak si Minotaur sa iya nadatugan siya, and then na hulog or natangtang iyahang nabuyan niya iyahang weapons. So ang iyahang way of dealing sa Minotaur is through by his fist. So sumbag lang, sumbagay sila sa Minotaur hantod sa namatay ang Minotaur. And then na-trace nila balik ang naka-exit sila, nakita nila ang exit kay naaman sila guide, which is ang katong a ball of thread. So after his victory, Theseus and others escaped to their ship, taking Ariadne with them. Now on their journey back to Athens, they stopped at the island of Naxos. Now here, there are two different versions of stories kung unsa gyud ang nahitabo ni Ariadne. First is that si Theseus gi-abandon daw niya si Ariadne while she was asleep. Now she was later kanang consoled by the god Dionysus. And sa another version is that it suggests na si Ariadne gibiyaan siya behind as she was left behind due to a violent storm that carried Theseus' ship away, and when he returned, he had died. So mao na siya ang duha ka suggestion or kung unsa gyud ang nahitabo kang Ariadne. So mao to in other case, Theseus forgot to change the black sail to white as he had promised his father, King Aegeus. Di ba nag-promise man siya to change the color black to white? Nga, nag-signify nga victory sila and successful ang mission. But then, nalimtan niya. So of course, si King Aegeus, watching from his son's return, saw the black sail and assumed Theseus had died. So, sa everyday ginanagatan si King Aegeus kang Theseus. And then nakita na gid niya nga nag-return na ang ship, but the color is black. So nag-assume siya na patay na si Theseus kay iya magi-promise na koloran niya white, but then nalimtan man niya. So that's why niambak gi-throw ni King Aegeus iyahang self sa sea, which was later named the Aegean Sea. So, of course, kay namatay man si King Aegeus, so ang nipuli ang sa trono is si Theseus. So as king of Athens, Theseus was known for his wisdom and fairness. He established a commonwealth where citizens could govern themselves, keeping only the role of commander-in-chief for himself. Now, he was also known for his kindness and compassion. He helped bury the dead after the War of the Seven against Thebes and refused to loot the city. Now, he also protected the aged Oedipus and comforted Hercules when he fell into despair. Now, ang nahitabo diri is that naay war na nahitabo sa kining after the War of the Seven against Thebes. It is nagwar sila, and then ang Thebes is against sa like ang mga patay na mga people kay dili nila tagaan og proper burial. So nitabang si Theseus nga ma-retrieve ang body para matagaan og proper burial. And then next is iyang tabangan, iyang gi-protect si Oedipus. Now si Oedipus pod naa siya duha ka daughter that time sa kuan, and then iyahang gitabangan iyang duha ka daughter nga makauli sa ilaha nga safe. Now next is iyang gi-comfort si Hercules kay na-fell siya into despair. The reason why he fell into despair is that nabuang siya, and then sa iyang kabuang napatay niya ang iyahang anak ug iyang asawa. So it's kanang kuan kaayo ba, kanang grabe kaayo ihang sala nga nabuhat. And then, of course, ang iyahang mga friends ni Hercules, kay dili na muduo sa iya. Kay it's because mahadlok man sila nga if muduo sila kang Hercules, kay lagi, nabuang lagi siya, pilon niya sila og patay. But then, si Theseus ra ang ni stood against him. Stood by him. Now, si ihang gitabangan si Hercules, and then naabot ng moment na, 'di ba, nabuang man siya. Tapos naulian siya, and then na-realize niya iyahang sayop nga nabuhat, and then naka-decide siya na iyang patyon iyang kaugalingon. And then si Theseus iyang gi-encourage or iyang gi-encourage niya nga dili niya patyon iyang kaugalingon. And then gi-persuade siya ni Theseus na ubanon siya paingon sa Athens. So kay nakuan lagi kay close cousin biya sila, of course. Moto ni uban si Hercules kang Theseus. So Theseus loved danger for its own sake and ventured to the country of the Amazons. Now, diri niya naila si Antiope. So he brought back an Amazon named either Antiope or Hippolyta, who bore a son named Hippolytus. Now, mao ni iyahang na anakan si Hippolyta or si Antiope. Now, ilahang anak is si Hippolytus. So, the Amazon invaded Attica to rescue her but were defeated, and no other enemies entered as long as Theseus lived. Now, Theseus joined the Argonauts to find the Golden Fleece and participated in the Clydonian hunt, saving his friend Perituous. Now, kini si Perituous is kanang na friend niya, ihaning naligtas bitaw. And then si Perituous kay na friend naman sila ni Theseus, iyang gitest si Theseus by stealing his cattle, leading to their lifelong friendship after a confrontation. So, nasuod gid sila ni Perituous. Now, at kanang next is at Perituous' wedding. So, kanang wedding na ni Perituous, kanang si Theseus na ay plano ang mga centers na i-abduct ang bride, which is ang katong asawa ni Perituous. So, gihelp niya si Perituous, gihelp ni Theseus si Perituous nga masagip ang bride. But then namatay ang iyang bride. So si Perituous later on kay gidesire na pud niya si Persephone, so as his second wife, and Theseus agreed to help, but first ilang plano is i-abduct sa si Helen daan ayha si Persephone. So gi-abduct ni Theseus, gi-kidnap ni Theseus si Helen, and that time Helen was young. And then her brothers is si Castor and si Pollux. Now, na-retrieve ra siya sa iyahang brothers. And then kay na-retrieve man si Helen sa iyahang brothers, kay si Theseus and si Perseus went to the underworld for Persephone, but were trapped by Hades on the chair of forgetfulness. So, as kanang pagsulod nila, kay lagi na kuan man na retrieve man si Helen, so nagplano sila nga moadto sa underworld, and then kabalo na si Hades ana. Ang ending is that wala siya plano na patyon si Theseus and si Perseus, pero ang iyang way is that iyang gi-invite si Perseus to sit on the chair. But then, wala sila kabalo nga ang chair is mauto siya ang chair of forgetfulness. So, after many years, like na-stuck sila dito, and then, sa Hercules, iyang gi-apas si Theseus. Now, so Hercules later freed Theseus but couldn't save Virtuous, who remained in the underworld forever. So, si Theseus ra iyahang nasagip. And then namatay si Virtuous. Now, despite sa iyahang noble deeds, like atong iyang gipangbuhat nga para ma-save ang mga people, Theseus faced personal tragedy. Now, his marriage to Pedra, which is sister ni Ariadne, brought misfortune. It's because Pedra fell in love with her stepson Hippolytus, Theseus' son with the Amazon Antiope. Now, si Pedra, di ba, kay stepson man ni Theseus si Hippolytus. So, si Hippolytus is that kanang na devoted man siya kay Artemis. And scornful siya of romantic love. So, dili siya ganahan anang mga love-love. So, gi-reject niya si Pedra. And then, loyal pud siya sa iyahang father, which is si Theseus. Now, tungod kay gi-reject man ni Hippolytus si Pedra fell into despair. Now, ang iyahang way kay gi-reject man siya ni Hippolytus, he took her own life but left a letter accusing Hippolytus of assaulting her. Now, enraged kaayo so after nahibal-an ni Theseus nga namatay si Pedra. So, suko kayo siya, and then iyang gi-confront si Hippolytus, asking him if he had anything to do with his wife's death. And then si Hippolytus tells him the truth, but Theseus refused to accept it. So, ang ending, si Hippolytus iyang gibanish sa Athens. So, iyang palayas si Hippolytus. So, along the journey, nilayas na si Hippolytus, along the journey is that nigawas na monster from the water bitaw, and then naigo iyahang kanang chariot, iyahang kalesa bitaw, and then na aksidente. So, namatay siya tungod ato. And then, the reason why nganong si Pedra kay na in love kay kanang Hippolytus, di ba? The reason why is that kanang mura siya gi-curse ni Aphrodite. So, later on, na-learned ni Theseus ang truth about Pedra's false accusation from the goddess of Artemis, who revealed that Aphrodite had caused Pedra's unnatural love for Hippolytus. Now, tungod kay Aphrodite, kay hate niya si Artemis. Dili biya si Hippolytus og mga love. So, gikuan siya ang punterya ni Aphrodite. So, sad kayo ang ending. It's that na heartbroken kayo si Theseus kay ahya pa niya nahibal ang tinuod nga patay na iyang stepson and iyahang wife nga si Pedra. And then after is that namatay sad siya, kanang his death was also tragic. It's because kanang si Theseus was at the court of a good friend, King Lycomedes, because Athens had banished him. So, kay gibanish pud siya sa Athens, sa mga Athenian, it's because lagi tungod atong nahitabo. So, at all events, the king, his friend, and his host had killed him without knowing the reason behind. So, gipatay ni King Lycomedes si Theseus without kanang telling the reason behind. So, wala siya gaingon sa unsay rason nganong gipatay niya si Theseus. So, sad kaayo siya kay friend ng good ni Theseus si King Lycomedes. So, despite his sad end, the Athenians later honored him with a great tomb that served as a sanctuary for slaves and the poor. commemorating commemorating his role as protector of the defenseless. So after sa iyang sad end is that nagi-offeran siya, gibuhatan, gi-honor siya sa mga Athenians tungod sa iyang mga nabuhat nga mga good deeds. So mo to gibuhatan siya og tomb kauban ang mga kanang serve as a sanctuary for slaves and the poor. Kay siya man ang protector sa mga defenseless. And that would be all. Thank you for listening and I hope you learned something. Thank you.